what I wanted to do was take the skills I learned through Flamingo Joe's, the food service, working at special events. And I learned that, whether you're at a baseball game or a monster truck show, you're not just there for the baseball game or the monster truck show, whatever it may be. You're there for the overall experience. People like to experience fun and exciting things. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to create a mystery shopping company for breweries that would help them maximize that customer experience. Because when you go to a brewery, if you just go for a beer or you go to a restaurant just for a hamburger, you're not just going for that. You're going for the staff interaction. You're going to learn about the company. You're going because you enjoy the community aspect that you feel while you're there. So my wife, Stacy, and I, as you know, we created a company called Secret Hopper, which is a mystery shopping company for breweries. And as I mentioned, we just wanted to help breweries maximize that customer experience. That way, one, the guests would spend more money while they were there, but two, also come back. And at the end of the day, it's just about creating really positive memories at these community establishments.
Andrew, I'm going to read something that you wrote. When Andrew and I were talking about what we were going to try to bring out on this show, and it's basically, being a young entrepreneur and how you put together all your life experiences, but mostly passion. Andrew, you wrote this, and then what I wrote for the title of the show and so forth that came out of this. You said you'd like to mention something like Andrew started working at the age of 16, selling snow cones at minor league baseball games. We've covered that. He quickly learned the value of hard work and building relationships. Now Andrew runs two similar but different companies, and he is passionate about helping others succeed while providing them with the means to better themselves as well as their businesses. He believes in the value of creating memorable, positive experiences, whether at a baseball game or while at a brewery. Success is defined by the strength of the community you build around yourself. So, Andrew, you've always done things in a way that you've been fortunate to be in a leadership position, like the boss, most places that you've been, but you've always given people a chance. I remember I knew a lot of people. I bet you I've sent you 15 or 20 different people who their parents said, oh, well, your son does that. Would he let my son work for him? And you've had a philosophy that'll let you tell what it is. Because I've sent you people and you say, sure, Dad, I'll let anybody work. I mean, what have you always said about letting them work?
Well, everybody deserves a chance, because if you can come to a job and have no skills about that job, but get taught skills and have a positive attitude for something like selling snow cones, if you put the effort into it, you're going to see results. So one of my biggest characteristics when I train someone isn't necessarily hiring someone with experience, but hiring someone with a good positive attitude, because you can take a good positive attitude for someone who might be unskilled and train them and teach them and get to know them. And just by motivating them, help them out, and one, they're helping you out. So it becomes a really mutual relationship because you're both seeing the benefit from it. I'm getting a hard worker out of it, and they're getting a place of employment that they enjoy being at. And that kind of ties in to the passion aspect. If I'm passionate about, what I'm doing, whether it's helping a brewery out or helping someone sell snow cones at a baseball game, that passion's contagious. If you can get excited and get someone else excited about that job, that energy is very, very, it's almost dangerous, because it catches on to someone like a wildfire. And when they start enjoying that environment, they're going to be more successful too.
I couldn't agree with you more. So one of the central themes that we're trying to bring out here is building whatever you do with yourself around your passion. So you got some passions, Andrew. You love to travel, and what you do now is full of travel. When you travel and take 4 or 5 people with you to set up and get to that 18-wheeler and start, what do you call it when you open up the 18-wheeler a couple days before the event and start just stocking,
setting up.
Well, I'm pretty pleased that as hard as you work, as hard driving as you are, literally, you take books with you, you read, but you do a lot of hiking in national parks and state parks and things like that. What are some of the ones that you've seen the last so many years that stand out in your mind?
Oh, Stacy and I have been to quite a few. I mean, Utah was an amazing place we went to. Montana was fantastic. We really enjoy the Western United States, because you go to these places, it's almost like you're in a foreign planet, just the way the landscapes are so different and unique. It's just the freedom of being outside and exploring.
You said John and I to Galena, Illinois, when we drove back from work.
Well, yeah, I mean, that wasn't necessarily a national park, but it's just a really cool, quaint, small town. And we love visiting small places where you can just kind of experience their culture over a couple of days.
So I'd say that as hardworking as you are, you found ways to relax. I mean, hey, as driven as you are and as driven as I am, that's always difficult to be able to slow down a little bit and relax. But what are the ways that you relax?
Well, I mean, I like to drive. So even though I might have driven a lot in my life, I enjoy the time I am on the road. But I mean, as you know, I like going to national parks. I like traveling, just eating good food, eating good drink, reading books, ways that I can escape and take my mind off the work that I might have spent a lot of hours of that day on.
Yeah, that's important. But you use your time productively. I mean, when you're on the road, staying in hotels or camping out, you're always reading. And so that's a beautiful thing. So, Andrew, and your mystery shopper, secret hopper company, you've had it for 3 years this May, if I got that right.
That's right.
And I just want to say that the corona virus that we're going through right now has slowed things down somewhat, I'm sure, but if things will get back to normal soon. But I think you told me once that except for maybe 1 month early out, you tend to have a higher gross each month. I mean, it's got an upward climb that's unbelievable. You went to the Old Dominion Entrepreneur Center in the very beginning, and they welcomed you and embraced your product. What was it like going to them and getting some help from them?
Well, I've always been a firm believer in outside feedback. It's nice to hear someone else's opinion, their ideas, because when you're working in your own business 24 hours a day, you're seeing it from one angle. But when you talk to someone else about it, they're looking at it for the first time and giving you a fresh perspective on something that could be beneficial for you. So the ODU Entrepreneurial Center has become a community I'm part of. I still meet up with them weekly for almost like a happy hour where we all get to communicate now virtually and just kind of talk about business ideas. And the whole philosophy is when you get involved in the entrepreneurial community, if you're talking to another person and their business may be completely different than yours, but if you can listen to them talk about their business, there might be one little takeaway that you could apply to your business that could help you succeed even more. So it's more so the spirit of community and just conversation that can help you and others, better yourselves and your own businesses. And the ODU Center for Entrepreneurial and Innovation has been really a great source for me on that one.
They never would have worked with you and a lot of the other opportunities that you've developed in your life if you didn't do what you say you're going to do. I mean, that's just such a basic thing to where you make a commitment, you fulfill it. You're one of those people. I remember I interviewed Johnny Lloyd, one of my newest best friends, about five episodes ago. And she talked about punctuality, and she said that if she's on time, she's late. And that's pretty much you also. I'll give you that. Hey, just to go back for a second, I had a note here that I wanted to bring out. It's about passion and making things fun. Because I think you and I both have that in common, to where if you're going to really do something, you might as well, you got to love it. You got to love it. And we did a project for science fair in school. And what was so good about this, because you're 3 years older than Lindsay and 7 years older than Josh. They both used the same project when they came along for science fair. Do you remember the foul shooting science fair that we put together? Mm-hmm. Let me hear what you remember about it, because that was the best we've ever done.
Oh, this is a long time ago, but I remember it was me just shooting at the basketball hoop outside to see what percentage of shots I would make. I believe it was from certain distances. Yeah,
we did layups, foul shots, and 3-pointers.
Yep.
I remember coaching you on YMCA basketball, and Jonathan Meyerholtz and you both loved to shoot those 3-pointers and stuff. And I couldn't. You didn't want to give him the ball because he would be under the basket, and then he'd dribble back out to 3-point range and hawk it up there, But so we wanted to prove through the hypothesis method, where the closer you are to the basket, the higher the percentage that you're going to make the basket. And so every day you would shoot like 100 shots of 100 layups, 100 foul shots, and 100 3-pointers. And we would chart the number that you made and the number you missed. And it just proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt that if you're going to be right under the basket making a simple little layup, you're probably going to make about 90%, unless you maybe higher. Foul shots, at that age, maybe 40, 50%, 3-pointers, maybe 10%. But I enjoyed that. But we had fun doing that. And Josh couldn't believe it when it came time for his science fair. Saying, "Why don't you use Andrew's?" It was a no-brainer for that. Jackie Robinson and Curt Flood, you wrote epic papers on the Curt Flood when it was free agency in baseball. and Jackie Robinson breaking the racial barrier in baseball. So I just wanted to get all that in. So Andrew, creating an experience. Let's go back to that a little bit more, because you said in your secret hopper that basically what you do in that is you pair people that like to go to craft breweries and do a mystery kind of report. And you've got this questionnaire that you developed, like 25 or 30 things that you ask. And then you share that with the owner of the craft brewery. And then they learn a lot to help their management do better for like that they should be doing. Did you offer them some to take home? Whatever the deal is, right? Well, when you do the secret hopper thing and you do these surveys, creating the experience is what it's about. You don't grade the beer. I mean, you're not going to get involved and tell them that your beer's good or bad. Would you talk for a moment or two? Because I think it's really good about your whole thing about creating a positive experience.
Well, it kind of goes back to that foul shooting science project. When you do something 100 times, you start to collect the data on it. You prove it scientifically that certain things can be a certain way. Like, obviously when you do the layups, you're going to make a higher percentage of layups versus the 3-point shot. So, but you're actually proving it. While it might seem like common sense, it's nice to have the data behind it. So through Secret Hopper, what we've done is kind of take that same foul shooting approach and apply it to breweries. While it might seem like common sense, if you offer a guest recommendations at a brewery that they're going to spend more money, I'm just saying, I'm giving the suggestion. But when you have 5,000 people go to breweries and you can find out that, hey, when someone offers a suggestion, they're spending 25% more than when the bartender doesn't offer a suggestion, it's a way that they can improve that business. So what we do through Secret Hopper is try to pay attention to the little things that can ultimately make an experience more, one, profitable for a business, but also more memorable. Because when a visit's more memorable, you're more likely to become a repeat customer.
It's absolutely brilliant, and I'm sure it's going to continue to grow. And so right now, you hire a part-time person for that every now and then, but mostly it's just you and Stacy doing the whole thing.
Oh, no. I mean, it's not typically me and Stacy doing it. Look, unfortunately, we're not the ones going to the breweries.
I'm sorry. I'm talking about the administration of it.
Oh, yeah. So, no, I mean, it's been a fun process with regard to that because Stacy, my wife's the only actual employee, although I had to let her go recently, which is unfortunate. But we've actually, found other people as like subcontractors, my brother and Josh included. We have another student at the University of Virginia who helps us out sometimes too as a subcontractor. We found people who are also really hard workers able to help us out. And I don't know if you knew this, Dad, but we actually have someone we use. He lives in Bangladesh, who's almost my assistant through all this. He lives over there, and I just give him lots of fun projects for him to work on that are really helpful to me. They take things off my plate and helping him out because he has a source of income that he gets to use just from working from home.
Dave Richards, one of my partners in all these things that I do, founding member of Right Thinking, he found out about India and partnering with people over there too a long time ago. So that's beautiful that you're doing that. So Andrew, I think we've covered a whole lot of stuff, just kind of where you came from and how you got to be like you are and so forth. I just got to tell you that when you got engaged and introduced me to Stacy, I tell Stacy this just about every time I ever see her. She's the love child that I never knew was coming because I never got too much into asking you questions about, relationships and, dating and all that stuff. But she's just my bonus daughter. I mean,
yeah, Stacy's fantastic.
I just thank you of all the things you've done in your life, you've done two things that are the best things you've ever done in my mind. And that's marrying Stacy and now bringing Max into this world. Max. Mm-hmm.
Max is awesome. They're downstairs playing right now.
Through this coronavirus separation, the single hardest thing for me to go through is I had to cancel a trip to go see Stella on her birthday in Willie out in Oregon. And I was kind of getting to where a couple of days a week or whatever, I like to come over and hang out with Max and take him for a walk. And seeing him on a video message, FaceTime the other day, where he was standing up by himself with pretty good balance and stuff. Yeah, he'll be a great athlete like you've always been, all sports, et cetera. But so Andrew, look at your life for a minute with me here. This is interesting. I never get to ask you these kind of questions.